So there is a brand new Godzilla movie that just came out that I would love to talk about. It is called Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I loved it. To start off with it, I do think it could no, it definitely is the best MonsterVerse movie
I agree
that we've gotten.
Mm-hmm.
I just love, I don't know, the battles of it, everything, the monsters, how Kong is with Suko, how Godzilla's like, you know what, fuck everybody, I'm gonna go supercharged and go Super Saiyan to destroy everybody. I fucking love it.
I like that Legendary definitely knows their audience.
Mm-hmm.
Like people like seeing the monsters fight.
Yes.
So this movie, they focused on having the monsters fight.
Yes.
They didn't really care about any of the human drama. That wasn't super important. You know, the humans have never really been Legendary Pictures' strong suit.
Yeah.
But I like the actors. They all do a good job. Obviously, they all have fun. They're all hamming it up for the CGI monster fights.
Yeah.
So it's always enjoyable. This has probably been my most enjoyable of the MonsterVerse. At least going to see them in theaters has definitely been my favorite.
And I think even the human storyline in this movie was good and how they did it. Like you said, they didn't spend too much time on it and gave the monsters their time to shine and just be badass, which is what I want. I just want to see Godzilla and Kong fight a bunch of motherfuckers. That's all I want to see.
I didn't enjoy it as much personally. I feel like the one girl who happened to survive the attack on Skull Island happened to be the one that would save the whole world and reawaken Mothra, which is the only way that they would have been able to defeat Scar King and the other monster, which is still kind of a spoiler. But I didn't really enjoy that personally. It kind of took out a little the immersion for me, but I still enjoyed it. I feel like it was, let's just see the monsters fight. I don't really care.
No. Yeah, because I was wondering how they were going to bring Mothra back. Then they did that whole storyline with, I don't even remember her name.
Me neither. I'm not going to lie.
The girl from the Iwi tribe or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. Oh, she's a savior? Like, I think it's way out of left field that they kind of just threw it in there. But it is what it is. Oh, also, you know the shot in there with the car? After she picks her up from school?
Yes.
You can't tell me that is not product placement.
No, it was 100%.
That was such an ad.
Yeah, that's
I sat there and I looked at my mom and went, that's an ad.
Yeah. I'm here for it. Yeah. I don't mind. You get your bag. You know what I'm saying? I don't care.
Like, it's so noticeable. It's not even like a little like shot of it. It's like just a wide open, like, here, look at this car. Come buy it.
It kind of gives off classic 90s product placement vibes, which I like. Yeah. I also like the whole... Some people didn't really understand the whole Mothra, like there being a second one, but that was a very big part of like the older Godzilla movies. Yeah. That Mothra like always laid 2 larvae or 1 or 2, and then they were always coming back at the end. So it's a nice callback to the classic like Godzilla lore. So it was nice to see that.
It is. Talking about Godzilla lore, JaCoby knows a bit more about Godzilla lore with like Toho and all that than I do. So, JaCoby, please give us a little bit of Godzilla lore.
All right. So I've been researching a little bit here and there. After I watched -1 in theaters, which, by the way, y'all definitely should have seen it. It was so good.
I know. I got to go see it.
Being like a big anime guy, it's always been my thing. It's like really interesting watching Japanese movies in American theaters because the only people who you really see go are people who are just big fans of like that culture and the way that they make their movies. So watching that was really interesting. Yeah. Getting to see all the callbacks to the original lore, like hearing the original score. Yeah. They used the original war from 1954. Oh, nice. Yeah, I watched. That was part of a video that I watched. I had like went back and noticed it, and I was like, "Dang, that's actually really smart."
I mean, I wish I would have saw it in theaters, but it's about to be on Amazon Prime, so I can watch it there.
I'm rewatching it again.
This also reminds me of a funny story. Sorry to cut you off.
Nah, you're good.
Me and my mom went to see a movie this past week, and it was one of those special unseen screenings where you don't know what the movie is. We got in there and we're like, all right, cool. First thing we walk in, it's just a bunch of elderly people. And I'm like, all right.
That's crazy.
I think the retirement home's having a field trip. I don't really know what's going on. So we're sitting there and then it pops up Sony Pictures. I'm like, okay, cool, Sony movie. Then it popped up Crunchyroll and I went,
damn.
Okay. And then it said Toho and I went, okay. And then it popped up Spy Family and I'm like, what?
Yeah. For a little background, he is not. Yeah. He's not an anime guy at all. He's not really a fan.
But I gave it a chance. What really threw me off is it introduced a husband who was a spy, and then the wife who's an assassin, and then the daughter who can read their minds, and then the dog comes in and he can see the future. And I looked at my mom and I went, "Can we go? I don't. This just doesn't. This doesn't. No." And then we left, and then a bunch of the elderly people left too. So it was. No, sorry to all the anime lovers who are watching. I can't do it. I'm
That's
sorry.
Fair. I feel like part of seeing anime movies in theaters is watching the series, so that you at least have like a baseline of how. Because I feel like that's one of the things that a lot of people don't get.
Yeah.
Like
I told my mom if it was like an anime that I've heard of or know a little bit of, I would have stayed and watched it. But I had never heard of Spy Family, so I was just like, I'm not.
Yeah, it's relatively new, so that's why.
Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
No, you're good.
Godzilla,
You're good.
JaCoby.
Yeah. I mean, there's been almost 40 Godzilla movies that have come out over the last, almost 80 years now.
Yeah.
Well, it's just under 80 years. I think it's like 70 something. I don't remember.
I think so.
I think it's 70 this year. It's like 54, 20. Yeah, it's like 70 years this year. Yeah. I think. Yeah. So it was super cool to see, especially in a modern Godzilla flick. Seeing all those classic callbacks, and I really enjoyed the fact that they kind of made Godzilla more of like a malevolent character in this, because Legendary didn't make him malevolent per se. I would say more he's like a force of nature in that like series. He's kind of just a guy who comes up when you're fucking off, and like he's the one to correct all the people who are stepping out of line. Yeah, and I find that while I find that really interesting, I prefer him being more like his original roots, where he's. He was created by the atomic devastation, and he's like a metaphor for that. Yeah. And that really, it was interesting to see in this movie as well. Yeah. So you definitely have to see it, and then you guys definitely have to watch it. It's streaming on Amazon, hopefully soon.
I think
in the
like
next couple months.
May 10th, I think.
Ooh, that's gonna be sick.
I think so. I'm gonna watch it. I hope they have the different versions though, like the black and white version and all that on there. They probably won't, because why would they? So that's gonna be unfortunate. Yeah. But if they have a Blu-ray box.
I wonder if they're working on a dub for it. That would be interesting to see if like an American dub over the Japanese.
See, but like that's my thing too. Like with the original Godzilla films or the Toho ones, I always like to watch them with the Japanese language, just because that's how it's meant to be seen. I can read some subtitles that don't bother me none. So
type shit.
I'd much rather do that.
Yeah. I enjoyed another one of the movies. I mean, this is a little older, like 2016, but Shin Godzilla was also really good. This gave me very much Shin Godzilla vibes, just because they kind of wanted to go back to the roots, spin a new story, but also like have those classic callbacks in it. And I watched that one in all English. I couldn't find a Japanese version that wasn't like on a streaming service, unfortunately. So I'm definitely have to go back and watch that in Japanese, because I feel like a lot more of the emotion is coming out through those performances.
And -1 won a fucking Oscar.
Oh yeah,
and that was like what, the first Godzilla film to do that?
Yeah, ever.
So that speaks volumes to this film, especially with the visual effects, because that's what they won for, right?
Yeah, and that was like a big part of that movie, like blowing up and becoming as viral as it was. Is that the budget was super small for what they were able to achieve?
Just gonna ask you what the budget was.
15 million, if I'm not mistaken. It was like super compared to most like bigger budget movies. I mean, Godzilla X Kong was what, 200, 300 million?
Oh yeah.
They definitely made their money back, so it's a testament to how good
between 10 million and 15 million.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And the fact that they won an Oscar for best visual effects, is it? Just double check that, because I don't remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it just goes to show the ingenuity of
best visual
the cast
effects.
And the crew that they were working on, that the love that they put into the film. I always really appreciate when they do stuff like that.
They had a $10 to $15 million budget, and they made over $115 million worldwide at the box office.
Nice.
That is absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I feel bad for my girlfriend though. I kind of dragged her to see it, and I didn't tell her that. It was in Japanese.
Oh, well, I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, so if I did, I would have done the same thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I was depressed and lonely at the time. But I'm not anymore, so we're good.
That's a fucking lie.
Oh, she's going to watch this and yell at me.
She's going to be pissed.
This might be my last episode, guys.
We're going to be burying you next, bro.
Oh, sweet Jesus. So another thing I really want to talk about is if what Godzilla X Kong did, if it warrants a sequel, which they made money off of it. They made back what they made or what they spent to make the movie. So it obviously is going to get a budget, but I'm more curious as where you think they're going to take it. Do you think it's going to be more like, because Godzilla X Kong was more a Kong story, and Godzilla was in it, not that much, but he was in it. What I'm hoping for and what I think it's going to be is this going to be, this time around, more of a Godzilla film. And Kong might show up and be in it a little bit, which I'm hoping for because I just want to see the big man go crazy. Like, he doesn't need Kong's help. I don't think Kong really needs Godzilla's help either now, going forward. But I think if they do like what's the one? Is it Destroya? Was that
Destroya?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of different
a bunch of different ones they haven't done.
Yeah.
But I would love to see a Godzilla, like, not another solo one, but it's him mainly, and it could be against Destroya. It could be against Mecha Ghidorah or whatever, because I've heard that's a thing apparently happening. I don't know.
Toho's got a wide catalog of monsters. There's characters that are super popular in the fandom that haven't even come out around yet, like Anguirus, Jet Jaguar.
What's the metal man's name?
Jet Jaguar.
Oh, Jet Jaguar. Okay. All right. See, I don't really know. But
I actually found out some interesting lore about that character when I was researching for this episode. I found out that they had a contest, like between I think middle school, elementary schools, for like kids to design a character that would go in the next Godzilla movie, and Jet Jaguar was a winner. So that's why it's got a goofy ass name compared to all the other monsters.
I think that's a dope
No, he's
name.
cool though. I think he's dope.
I really just want to see Godzilla do the dropkick.
That shit would be
like I just want to see him do the dropkick from the what's that movie? Which one is it?
I don't remember which one it is,
either.
but I know Jet Jaguar's in it.
Yeah, I want to see them do like a combo like drop kick at the same time.
That would be absolutely
that'd be
insane.
here. And I also want to see Son of Godzilla. I do, because we got Zuko with Kong. You can give Godzilla a son, and then maybe when Kong or Godzilla dies, and they take up the mantle. I think it'd be cool.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really.
Go ahead. Sorry.
During my research, I didn't really find Manila, which is the name of his son.
Yeah.
I didn't really find him super interesting. There was a couple times where Godzilla died, and then Manila like took over the mantle, and then he became like the new Godzilla.